So my name's Charles Frump. I'm 56 years old. I'm from the US. I've been living here in Malaysia for about 5 years, and I've been working out with Riz for almost a full 5 years.
So, just a quick one. So, take me back to before we started. All right. So, before we started strength training and stuff like that, right? So, what was it like for you, and what was bugging you about where you were at?
I think a lot of the things that people did, I concentrated on cardio. So I was doing cardio 3-4 times a week, and I hit 50 and suddenly I was gaining weight and I couldn't work out any harder. I knew I had to try something different. At first, I looked to nutrition. So I made a major overhaul in my nutrition, working on my macros, understanding my cardios, tracking food, and eventually got to the point where I understood where I needed to be especially with protein and eating majority whole foods. Added on top of that some supplementation, but still got my weight under control a bit, but certainly I lost probably 7-8 kilograms, but I felt weak and I knew I needed to do something different beyond just cardio.
But what do you think was the trigger to got you into doing strength training?
I was injured. So my shoulder was locking up. At the time, my posture was really bad. I was living in India at the time, and I started working out. I started going to a physical therapist, and she started getting me more into strength and less into cardio. And that had a huge impact on my shoulder. But I could tell that strength training, even at a very kind of low level, really helped me out a lot. So when I moved to Malaysia, I started to think about I need to get serious about strength training.
Okay. You mentioned that you do a lot of sports. So you're quite active. So what kind of sports do you do, especially at your age now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky enough. No matter where I've lived in the world, I'm a big ice hockey player. So now that I'm retired, I spend most of my time traveling around to different countries, playing in different tournaments. And here in KL, I'm playing hockey 2 to 3 times per week, which I'm pretty much the oldest guy out there now. But so I think that the strength training and overall conditioning and nutrition are really the only reasons I can continue to play. And this was another one of the reasons that I came to see Riz, was I needed to make sure that I can continue to play for as long as I can.
Okay. So compared to when you first started out, like almost 5 years ago, right? So after doing like a structured strength training with me, what can you do now, or what's different that you couldn't do at the start? Or have you seen like any improvement to your games?
I can lift a hell of a lot more. My clothes don't fit anymore.
In a good way.
I mean, in a good way, right? So I've put on about 6-7 kgs. My fat percentage stayed about the same. So I recently got refitted for a suit. Now my chest has gotten 2 inches bigger, so I had to get everything refixed. So I think I feel better like that, but also I can feel the performance on the ice. Shot is stronger. I can win the physical battles. And I think, surprisingly, I've cut back on my cardio, but my speed on the ice has actually improved more. We're doing a lot of squats, a lot of my favorite split squats. And I think that leg training has been really instrumental in allowing me to stay fast, to stay strong, and keep up with the young folks on the ice.
Is there anything else aside from the hockey? Anything that improved in your other parts of your life, like when you travel and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think in general, I feel better. I used to have a lot of aches and pains. I think I used to have quite poor posture. I think a lot about the training that I did in the past. I did some when I was especially younger, concentrated mostly on pushing. So I had strong kind of chest and things, but weak back. I think that contributed to me being hunched over. Also was always on the computer a lot. And I think that my posture is greatly improved. My energy is a lot better. Yeah, in general, I just feel like any situation, any physical situation I can come in and handle, whether it's chores at home, whether it's playing some sport I haven't played very much. I know I can go out and do a pretty good job no matter what it is, whether it's running or strength based. I can do these things, right? And I think at 56, I look out in the future, and strength training is got to be one of the things that I have to continue with for my whole life in order to keep the longevity that I have. And I look at my parents, I look at my wife's parents getting frail, and we're the next generation up for that. And I think the only tool we have is strength training and nutrition. And I think we need to dial those things in if we want to have a good longevity and a good life when we get older.
Okay. Speaking about age, people around your age will have a lot of hesitance when it comes to doing strength training. Okay. So what would you say to those kind of people? Like they're worried that they're going to get injured. I say, oh, I'm too old to do strength training, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that?
I think you're never too old to do strength training. I think you're going to be in trouble if you don't do strength training, to be honest. I think your muscles, I think you lose 1% of your muscle per year after age 40, right? So if you don't do something, something's going to catch up with you. And the risks and worries around strength training are very low. I've been working out with Riz for 5 years. I've never had an injury. I think if you have a good trainer that they'll push you in the right way, but not beyond your limits, they won't. I think it's natural to have a little bit of apprehension when you come into something like this, when you're starting new. I think you've done a good job, Riz, of taking me along slowly and building me up, not having any fear in the workouts, but really allowing me to get more and more confident over the years. And I've been injured several times in hockey over those years, but never weight training. And I think really contrary to that, I think it's prevented a lot of injury for me.
So if someone is sitting on the fence right now about contemplating about starting out, what would you say to them?
I would say get professional coaching, right? Don't just jump in the gym and start doing things you used to do in high school. It's worth getting professional coaching, especially as you're older. You can avoid injury. You can do it right. Your gains will be much better. So I think don't do it on your own. Don't say today's the day I'm going to go run 5K. You're going to pull your hamstring. You're not going to really increase your fitness. Just slowly begin with a good trainer and build yourself up and focus on muscle and nutrition. I think that's the right way to go. It has been for me.
Okay. So do you think this starting strength training has been a good decision for you?
No question about it. I think it's something that I've been doing for 5 years. I'll never stop. Like it's something that's part of my routine and something that I do and really part of who I am.
All right. Final question. And so let's just say if you had to go back 5 years and if you decided not to pursue strength training, where do you think you'd be now? What do you think would have happened if you didn't do strength training?
I don't think I'd be playing hockey. I think my body fat percentage would be through the roof. I'd probably have some blood pressure problems, some health problems. And now I think I would say between nutrition and strength training, there's very few people in my age group that I don't think I'm in better shape than, right? So that I can't imagine that I wouldn't have done something. I think all of us, or at least all of us, should at some point get to a moment where they realize I have to do something about my health actively. I'm no longer 25 years old. I have to be active and do something that will maintain my longevity for myself, for my friends, and for my family.